Okay, this time we're going to write a chord progression. Now you should be sure that you read about chord progressions in the modules. It's not that hard, I don't think, if you follow these simple steps, but make sure you read about it in the modules and learn more about it on the CD-ROM because I'm going to go through it pretty quickly here. Okay, in the key of E, we're asked to write a 1, 4, 5, 7, 1 progression. Okay, the first thing I would do is look up the key signature of E major on the circle of fifths. Make sure you look up E major and not E flat, right? We're writing a progression in E major. E major has 4 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. So I need to write that key signature on the staff here. 4 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. Now, by writing that key signature here, I don't need to write any more sharps or any more flats next to the notes. The key signature is going to take care of that. So when I start adding notes to create these chords, I don't have to worry about sharps or flats anymore if my key signature is written accurately. Okay, the Roman numerals. This Roman numeral stands for the number 1, and it means simply that we need to create a chord that is built on the first note of an E major scale, because we're writing an E major progression. So I find E on the staff. The E I chose is on a line. The next 2 notes to create this triad will be on the next 2 lines. That's simple. The Roman numeral 4 tells us we should build a chord on the 4th note of the E major scale. I'm just going to count up 4 letters of the alphabet: E, F, G, A. So here's A, there's A, and the next note is going to be on the next space, and the next note on the next space again. Okay, now as I'm adding these notes, the key signature is doing something special here. This first chord, I wrote E, G, and B, but the key signature, because G is sharp in the key signature turned that into a G sharp. I don't need to write a sharp sign next to it. Any musician who sees this will play E, G sharp, and B. For this chord, A, C sharp, and E. Again, the C is sharp in the key signature, so any musician that sees this is going to play A, C sharp, and E. Okay, the next chord, 5, 7. The V stands for the number 5, tells us the chord is built on the 5th note of an E major scale, and the 7th just tells us this chord is going to have an extra note. It's going to have 4 notes instead of just 3. Okay, so let's count up 5 letters from E. E, F, G, A, B. So I find B on the staff. Here it is, the middle line. Since it's on a line, the next notes will go on lines as well. And because it's a 5-7, a dominant 7 chord, it's going to have 4 notes instead of just 3. That's our 5-7 chord. The notes that are here, thanks to the key signature's help, are B, D sharp, F sharp, and A. And finally, the last chord of a progression is the simplest of all. It should always be identical to the first note of the progression, written on the same lines and spaces. So that's my 1 chord to end this progression. And that's it basically. That's the 1, 4, 5, 7, 1 progression in the key of E major.